there's such a thing, but a lot of people believe that this fellow killed John Lennon because he didn't run anywhere. He was calm, he was placid, and he answered all the questions. He went to prison, and I think he was going to be eligible for release, strangely, after 20 years. Well, in fact, he's still in prison. And what is it, 45 years later? Every 2 years he comes up for parole and he's turned down every time. Probably a good thing because I suspect there's people out there who might want
Want
to
to kill
damage
him?
him a bit.
Yeah.
But again, conspiracy theories about a famous person. So I think individually, I would ask myself, do I actually take on board? Do I believe any particular conspiracy theory? And I don't really know. I mean, another classic one, of course, is Area 51 in America, in Nevada. And apparently in 1947, so the story goes, an alien spaceship crashed, and the remains of the spaceship crashed down there, which is now Area 51, with some dead or possibly just alive aliens. And over the years, there's been lots of stories. There's been photographs which have been said to be fake of aliens and so on. It's an interesting story to read of when it happened, and I commend anybody to read about it. Because most people would say, well, aliens, it's too ridiculous for words. You've said yourself you don't believe in alien abduction, and I don't suppose many people do. But again, I mean, if you go anywhere near Area 51, by all accounts, you get shot. It's as simple as that. They don't allow anybody in there. It's probably the most high, top secret place in the US. So that's bred a lot of conspiracy theories in itself. And just on the point of aliens, there's a very good book. I may have mentioned this before, if ever we've touched on this, and I forget what it's called, but I think it's called the Rendlesham Incident. Now, Rendlesham is a place in Norfolk, and I think this happened in 1980, it was 1980, around the time John Lennon was killed, because it was that Christmas, I think. And anybody who reads this book, I would defy to not say afterwards, there clearly is something in this, because what the book, in very brief terms, said that an alien spaceship landed in the woods of the RAF base, which I think is still there, and it was an American Air Force base as well, but it was RAF Rendlesham, I believe. And when you read it, and how the radioactive scorch marks on the ground and all sorts of physical evidence of something that had landed. And this book it interviewed the then American boss of the place for the Americans, as well as the British personnel who were also there. And they weren't saying, oh yeah, we saw these little green men, which is of course the way that NASA and others, they rubbish these things by saying little green men. And of course, everybody thinks, oh, yeah, it's ridiculous. And I think it's a distraction thing, as you said earlier about distraction. But anyway, that is an incredible book. And all I would say is when I read it a few years ago, my thinking about it afterwards was, as it is on a lot of these things, I've got an open mind, because there appears to be rock hard evidence that something landed there, and it wasn't of this world. It wasn't an enemy's, vehicle or anything like that. So, as I say, if anyone can get hold of the Rendlesham incident, I would recommend it, because it opens your mind a bit to say, actually, there's a strong feeling that aliens have come to Earth. Vehicle or anything like that. So, as I say, if anyone can get hold of the Rendlesham incident, I would recommend it, because it opens your mind a bit to say, actually, there's a strong feeling that aliens have come to Earth. I'm not saying I believe that, but I certainly wouldn't say they never have. There was a period after Area 51, it was just after the war, apparently, where President Eisenhower, and again, this is in another book, which I forget what it was called, but he had his diary wiped out for 3 days. He insisted it was. And apparently, you can believe it, you can laugh, whatever, but apparently he he was deputed to go and talk to the aliens in Area 51. And
Wow.
3 days he disappeared from his usual haunt at the White House and other things, and this supposedly happened. And when you read these books, they're not written, I think, by some nutter who's got nothing better to do. They seem to have a lot of evidence, and it seems a bit like whistleblowing much of the time. And sometimes it gets picked up by the main media, and sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, I'm going right off subject here with this, but about Area 51 and about aliens, that they are ripe for conspiracy theories. And again, my approach is to have an open mind. Some of them seem crazy and ridiculous, some of them don't. I'll ask you a question. Do you think the moon men went to the moon? The very
Um,
famous conspiracy theory, the moon hoax. Do you
yeah.
think
Do
they
you know,
went there?
that was the first thing that came to my mind when I saw the
Hmm.
topic. I thought no better place to start than with Armstrong. Now I can't remember his first name now, but yeah. Um, I don't know
So
what to
what do you
make of
think?
it. I don't really know what to make of it because I don't think we had the technology then. And when you think about even people that go to the moon now, sometimes they have these accidents where you know something happens to the spaceship, and that's now that we've actually been more technologically advanced. And then back then, we aren't even that technologically advanced. So to say that somebody went to the moon back then, I don't know what to make of it. I, I don't. I would have to see compelling evidence that, well, compelling evidence otherwise to say that somebody actually went to the moon. Now, the guy that actually went to the moon, the guy that was said to have made the trip to the moon,